Welcome to the Word of Truth. This is Teacher D.H. Boone. Today's message is called Do Not Judge. The reason why God had me do it on this is because it's a lot of people like to point fingers at other people. A lot of people like to down people. A lot of people like to judge them and tell them what they should be doing and what they shouldn't. They talk about them. They judge them when they don't, when they are having hard times. But we have to realize that judging doesn't do nothing. It's a form of reaping and sowing. Because when you judge, then that means that you want to be judged. The word says, and Jesus clearly states in the word that if you judge, you will be judged, and there's only one judge, and there's God. We have to realize that people are doing the best that they to their ability. Yes, certain things, the truth is the truth, but I'm not talking about just merely speaking the truth. I'm talking about judging people. It's just like some people talk about people because how they look and judge people, or how they do things and judge people because they are having hard times or judging people where they stay, judging people, based by the job they have, the car that they have, or they don't have that much money, or they look funny, or they dress funny, There's a lot of times people like to judge people, And when we judge people and talk about people all the time and criticize people, it's a form of people feeling that self-righteous act like everything they do is right and they look right and everything is going perfect in their life. But a lot of times when we get ready to judge people, the things that we need to do is look in the mirror. Because when we judge people and the word says judge or you will be judged, you have to realize when you start judging people, that same thing will fall upon you and you would experience it so you can see how that other person felt when you judge them. See, it'll turn right back around. It's a boomerang. So that's why we have to make sure we watch what we do because we reap what we sow. And you have to realize that God made us all different. God knows what's happening. God blessed us with different talents, different abilities, and different gifts. So we can't judge nobody. It's just like some people judge people because they might be a sanitation worker, or they might be a maintenance worker. But we need a sanitation worker and a maintenance worker, just like we need doctors and lawyers. Just because a person may not be a doctor or a lawyer, or a CEO of a company, does not make them less than anyone else. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of times people like to look down on people because they may be vacuuming the floor at the bank, or cleaning an office building. Some people like to look down on people who may be a maintenance worker, or, and they feel like they less than because some people, just because they're a white collar worker and they go sitting behind a desk and they're a manager or stuff, that does not make them better than the person who's a sanitation worker, a person who's a construction worker, a person who is a, a carpenter. It doesn't matter what status of life that you're in. Everyone is needed. The cashier at the grocery store is needed, just like a receptionist at a doctor's office is needed. See, all jobs are service oriented when we serve other people, and so everything is needed. So if everybody would come down off their high horses and realize that God blessed us all, and He gave us different talents for us to be able to complement each other and for us to be able to be in the presence of other people's service, And so that's why God said, whatever you do it like you do it into the Lord. And that means that you doing it like you're happy and you're thankful that you're blessed, just because, and there's some people that you can't look down on because they so confident in their work. Some people, they are maintenance worker and they do the best that they can. Some people are mechanics and they take pride in servicing people cars. And some people may work at a car wash, but them, they will make sure they wash that car good, because a lot of people take pride and they thankful for what God has blessed them with, and the gift and the talent and the ability that God has given them. So don't look down on nobody, because I have seen people laugh at people because they in a certain thing, or a certain field that they talking about. Well, I wouldn't do that. Well, that's why if you ain't that person, that's why you're not them. God bless certain people with certain gifts because He want to show people humility. And see, now a person just came in here and dropped off a package. That UPS worker is just as needed as a surgeon. How is people packages going to get delivered? The auto worker is needed just like a nurse is needed, because how will we be able to drive cars if we ain't have nobody to build them? You know what I'm saying? Construction workers is needed just like a computer programmer. You know what I'm saying? You know, we need us all. Because if everybody had the same gift and talent, then how can we service each other? How can we be able to function, And so that's why we should not only celebrate what we're doing, but we need to learn to celebrate other people and uplift people, And, like sometimes, like if you go out to eat, tip generously to the waiter, and say, you know what, you're doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? And to the auto worker, and to, not just to the doctor and the nurse, the people who think they making a whole bunch of money and millionaires and stuff like that, but to the person who may be, working at the shoe store, and you have to go and try on shoes, and just say, you know what, you're really doing a good job. I just want to say, you know, thank you for your service. Like police officers, they go out there, and yes, it's some bad ones, but all of them is not bad. And firefighters, we have to say, think about it, they might not make like a whole lot of money, but they risking their life, you know and we just have to think about the police officers, what they do, and the people who go overseas to fight. We have to think about how they putting their life on the line. They might not be millionaires, but they are sacrificing something big. They're sacrificing their life that Jesus laid down for them to sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Jesus sacrificed their life, so they chose to be in a position to sacrifice their life to save us and protect and serve us. You know what I'm saying? So we have to realize, that everybody is needed. Don't look down on the person who's working at CVS, or maybe working at the grocery store, or maybe a maintenance worker, or a landscaper. Don't look down on them. Don't think that a person have to be a CEO of a company, or a manager, or like making like six figures. Like that's more important. You know what I'm saying? But see, God, He loves humility. He loves for us to humble ourselves, and He loves, for a person who, if they working in a store, or a shoe store, or a gym shoe store, or like I work in a candy store. I I make the best of my job, and this is what God blessed me with. This is what God, where He wants me right now, and I'm happy. I'm happy because I'm doing it like I'm doing it for the Lord. I love to serve people who come in here. I love to look at the little kids. I love to communicate with the public. That's what I like, And also, God had given me a job to teach people, the Bible, the Word, and I love it, and I love what God blessed me with. And that's why I could be the best that I could be, is what God blessed me with. I'm not trying to be no one else. So now, don't try to be someone else. Don't let people judgment make you question yourself and make you belittle yourself. You got to take pride in what God blessed you with. Whatever status you are in life, whatever job that you have to make sure that you do the best that you could do. And God blessed you with that specific title and that specific job, it's because God said he knew you would be good at it, and God knew you would be humble. And see, God will have you at the right place at the right time to bless you. That's why you can't underestimate yourself, and you can't underestimate someone else. And number one, you can't underestimate God. We never know who we are truly speaking to when we judge people and we look down on people and we talk mean to people. We should be happy all the time and ready to uplift people and just be nice and courteous, whoever is, whoever we come in contact, whatever line of work they're in. We have to celebrate them just like we want to be celebrated, you know? And we just have to keep our heads up and stay strong and realize that if we don't want to be judged, we shouldn't judge. Because we have to realize when we judge, it's going to come back on us. And see, we will experience the same thing that we judge somebody else with. So that's why sometimes when things happen in your life, you have to ask God, am I reaping or am I sowing? You know, because you have to realize about life, we reap what we sow. And a lot of times people are reaping a lot of things that they sow. Now remember, you can't sowing time and reaping time is not going to happen at the same time. God give you room, you sow, and like if you sow a seed, it's not going to harvest right then and there. It takes some time. It's a process. So just like, physically, if you do anything, or spiritually, or if you sow corruptible seeds, it's going to take a minute, but you're going to receive a corruptible harvest. And harvest time is going to come. It's not going to come soon as you sow things. So you have to realize when things hit you, you can't be surprised. You have to look back instead of pointing your fingers at everybody else. You have to look back and say, why I'm in this situation? Do I need to blame somebody else, or do I need to look in the mirror and realize that, hey, maybe I judged somebody, maybe I spoke wrong or something, maybe I looked down on somebody, maybe I'm going in this position because I put this out there. And see, whatever you put out there, it's going to come back to you. God said, whatever you measure, be measured to you again. So whatever, and it's going to come pressed down, shaken up, and overflowing. So that's why you have to make sure your seeds is good. Stop judging people. Stop talking about people. Stop putting people down. Stop looking down on people. When people always criticize somebody else, first of all, they are, a lot of people who talk down and criticize other people, they are unhappy. And a lot of times people criticize people, and some people, they have that pride, and they feel so good about themselves, and so they want to talk about other people because they think that they better. And so don't ever put yourself in a place where you feel that you're better than somebody, that you have the right to look down and judge them, because you do not. It's only one judge, and that's God. And prophets thought, God used prophets. Hello. God used prophets to minister to people, to talk to people, to get a message to them, to warn them. So now you have to realize it's time to stop judging people. It's time to keep your head up and stay strong. It's time to be all that God created you to be. Okay, stop judging if you don't want that judgment to come to you. Okay, until next time, may the peace of God be with you. Peace.